Since its inception in 2004, ADRA Africa's experience has taught that a replicative one-size-fits-all approach to operational effectiveness is inadequate to deal with the vastness, complexities, and diversities of the continent of Africa. Western Africa is no exception to this reality. It bears the historical legacy of French, English, German, Portuguese colonization with significant differences and inherited legal, political, economic, and cultural norms that have melded with the rich diversity of African history and culture. All organizations working within the NGO industry recognize the additional challenges of working within this territory and the absolute necessity of adapting their approach to the complexity that each country presents. 6 of Africa's poorest and least developed countries are contained within ADRA's Western Africa region. 39% of the Africa's sub-Saharan population live in this region, and yet only 2 of the top 10 recipients of NGOs in Africa are found here. Several ADRA's operations in Western Africa over the last 15 years have been fraught with malcompliance, fiscal irregularity, fraud problems. ADRA's traditional assumption and reliance on the SDA church election and control of boards as providing strong and credible governance and risk management has not been realized within many operational areas. In some cases, there have been gross failures of governance structures that have directly contributed to mismanagement and fiscal malfeasance, leading to operation closure and massive exposure and liability to ADRA International as a network. There is therefore a need to understand the particularity and characteristics of every country in order to provide adequate services and assistance in the course of our mission. Our analysis will focus on the situation of ADRA's mission in the Western and Central Africa. We will highlight the realities of ADRA in West and Central Africa, and point out all the major challenges faced in West and Central Africa countries. And we will finally recommend adequate structural remedies, such as fully inserting ADRA West and Central Africa office into ADRA's network, for the betterment of our institution and mission. Realities. West and Central Africa Division comprises the most vulnerable and poor African countries, and the mission of ADRA in the region is vital for the population. However, many difficulties arose in the course of ADRA's mission in this part of Africa for various reasons. Firstly, the entity of ADRA Africa was created to pilot ADRA's mission on the African continent. However, the location of the head office of ADRA Africa in Kenya proved to be problematic for the efficient management of ADRA's mission in West and Central Africa region due to the obvious long distancing between the head office and these parts of Africa. This situation led to ADRA Africa inability to fully grasp the need of population in West and Central Africa, and establish a proper action plan for activities in the region. Secondly, each part of Africa has its own realities and regional specifications that need to be addressed particularly and precisely. Some organizations and NGOs have already grasped and addressed the issue. A good example is the United Nations, UN, which has already restructured its offices in Africa by regions. Thirdly, there is language barrier between the head office of ADRA Africa established in an English-speaking country while most of the West and Central offices are located in Francophone countries. This clearly led to gross miscommunication, procedural and planification setbacks. An analysis of the realities stated above clearly demonstrate the urgent need to create a regional office of ADRA to manage the West and Central African countries. The West and Central Africa office of ADRA was therefore the best initiative to eradicate the problem. That's the reason why the West and Central Africa office should be affirmed by its formal insertion in the organizational chart of ADRA. There is a strong need to restructure our organization into regions for the success of our mission in Africa.
Challenge.
In the course of its mission in Africa, ADRA has encountered major challenges that need to be addressed urgently. There is a crucial lack of adequate humanitarian personnel. The malfunction of the internal financial system. The lack of efficiency of the board of directors in handling the operations. The inadequacy of the whole ADRA structure due to the new and evolving African context. After a careful identification of the realities and challenges faced by ADRA Africa and its West and Central Africa office, we will propose some recommendations we strongly believe will reinforce the organization in Africa and enable us to accomplish our mission to the best of our abilities. ADRA seeks to establish an effective, equitable, and transparent relationship between ADRA Africa and WAD as the primary requisite for sustaining and growing the ADRA presence in WAD territory and the success of ADRA Africa in general. This is a propositional statement from WAD to ADRA, but it also supposes that the parent church will also make a reciprocal commitment to its agency. Conclusion. Over the years, ADRA has built up a strong reputation in the entire Africa and particularly in West and Central Africa. We are currently present in 11 countries and most of our offices are doing great. The strong backing up and affiliation of the church has greatly contributed to the success and credibility of ADRA. Today, ADRA is trusted by donors and partners all over the world, and possibilities for obtaining more funding for projects in Africa are greater. The poorest countries are located in Africa, mostly in Western and Central region, so more funding will be vital for ADRA's mission in this part of the world. It is true that ADRA has encountered weaknesses, mismanagement, discrepancies, structural and organizational issues in the commission of its mission in Africa over the year. However, it is important to have an objective analysis of the situation and take the right decisions for the improvement of ADRA, because Africa is still in great need of such an organization to provide the required assistance to the vulnerable populations.